Hello and welcome to Goddess Resurrection. My name is Britta and I am your host. And today's episode is on a reciprocal love and the meaning of it. What is the meaning of reciprocal love? And so this is about elevated love. This is about divine union love. This is about a new earth, higher dimensional consciousness union that I am addressing here. I will definitely address some of the older normal, what we consider normal paradigms. But, this is really about understanding that we're shifting and we're leveling up, because as we are ascending, so are our relationships. We cannot think of ourselves as separate from our relationships. As you are ascending, you will bring your relationships into higher levels, undoubtedly, because remember, the feminine energy is the leading vibration. So we'll get into all of that. But before we do, hello, my gorgeous sister. How are you? I hope you are breathing and feeling and integrating these high frequencies that have been pouring in. I mean, I love this all so much. Again, I have to just mention it. Remember, we have never ascended while in human form. We have, of course, been in higher consciousness incarnations. And even here on Earth, we have had very advanced civilizations and very high frequency civilizations. But they came in like that and left like that. This is the first time on this earth plane that we are staying in the same body and the same incarnation while we are transforming. We're transforming. We're butterflies. We're coming out of the cocoon, turning into butterflies. We are increasing our vibration. We are building light body. We are bringing in the higher levels of our consciousness, of our own souls. And this is what I'm addressing in regard to relationship. Good. Now let's breathe together. Breathe. I hope you're just building that breath into your daily doings. The breath is everything moving forward, not just for the integration of the light, but also for this podcast episode. I'm not talking from masculine energy. I am talking into higher frequency concepts. And this is for you to feel. This is for you to resonate with. This is for you to remember. Because you know it all. Your body remembers. Your soul remembers. Your higher level of light and vibrational embodiment remembers this and knows this. So this is activating, and this is why I'm encouraging you to breathe. Don't listen to this and try to receive it so much with your thoughts, with your brain. This is not masculine energy or masculine material for you to consume. This is feminine energy expression. This is feminine energy transmission. And in order for you to remember it, in order for you to resonate with it, in order for you to get activated by it, you've got to stay in your feminine energy and therefore in your breath. Remember, your breath opens you into your feminine energy. Your breath is what holds you in your feminine energy. So if that's all you're doing throughout this entire episode and every episode thereafter, focus onto your breath. Make it important for you to stay in your breath. And I will try to remember to remind you, but sometimes when I start floating, I forget. I have conditioned myself to breathe all the time, and you can do that too. Make it important. Find reminders to remind yourself to breathe. You're the one in, you're the one exhaling. It's not a specific breath practice. It is simply you being the one in and you being the one exhaling. And you build that into the day. You build that into the doings. Good. Staying in the breath, staying in your receptive feminine energy. So the modern dynamic of a reciprocal relationship is quite surface. It's about the doing, right? It's all about the providing, the doing, the getting it done, the responsibilities of life, which can, of course, be very overwhelming. So let's look at the modern relationship. So the modern relationship is both are working, both are making money, both are busy in their masculine energies, both then share the home responsibilities, both share cooking, cleaning, laundry, gardening, right? The things that are there, unless they hire somebody to help. Also, both share the child responsibilities. Who's driving, who's picking up, who's going to the games, who's getting the other kid, right? It's an extremely busy life. And so this level of relationship, of course, it's productive. And of course, it allows for a better lifestyle. And for many, it's not even an option to do it any other way, right? So if this is the relationship level that you're in, it is very important for you, whoever holds the feminine energy, to make it even more important for you to remember your breath throughout the doings, because all of this that you are doing is all masculine energy. It's all surface level, just functioning in life. What we are moving into is a much more graceful. What we're moving into is a much more luxurious. What we're moving into is a much more liberating way of living these human experiences. And so you wanting to elevate yourself and your relationship, it's important that you're the one, you, the divine feminine, has to do it, because you are the leading vibration. You being in your feminine energy, you are embodying the divine. You being in the feminine energy, you are the guidance, the intuition. You are the wisdom. You are the home base. You are that frequency that is heaven on earth. You are the new earth embodiment. And by you being in that consciousness level, you will undoubtedly pull your masculine into deeper healing, into higher awareness. It's inevitable. That's vibrational law. It might feel tedious. It might feel a lot at times. I get that. But it's possible. And just because you're already in a dynamic doesn't mean it cannot evolve. I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's you are able to evolve yourself and your life and your relationship by you being the divine, by you embodying your divine feminine, by you focusing onto your breath, and therefore being in your feminine energy while you're driving to pick up the kids, while you're taking care of whatever the home care is. Even while you're working, right? It's possible to be so in your feminine energy that you can even be in your feminine energy while you're at work, or at least to a great percentage. Now, Don't feel left out, as I am going to pick it up a few notches now, and stay in your breath. Stay in your breath, because you want to also get used to seeing the possibilities, right? You want to get used to visualizing the possibilities of the much higher level union. When you visualize yourself and do that, right? Stay in the breath, stay in the feminine energy, visualize yourself in your current relationship or in the relationship that you're wanting to manifest in this much higher elevated union. Both are healed or semi-healed, or healed to a level where there's awareness. There is no more overreacting. There is no more, crazy toxic behaviors, right? No, both are open through the heart, because as we're healing, we're opening through the heart. And remember, the heart is what connects us into the new earth. So the heart space must be open. Man and woman, or whoever, it could be same sex, but whoever holds the feminine and masculine. A divine masculine has to have his heart open. He cannot be a divine masculine without an open heart. Neither can she. She cannot be a divine feminine without an open heart. So the healing of the protective mechanisms, the defense mechanisms, the coping mechanisms, the traumas, the healing opens us again in the heart space and throughout all of the other bodies and chakras as well. But let's stay focused onto the heart. So here you are in this beautiful divine union, in the sacred union. And because it is higher consciousness, because it is heart opened, both are very aware of that this is indeed a sacred experience, that this is indeed a divine union. And what does divine mean? It means it wants to be worshipped, cherished, protected, held in its divinity, right? That's the responsibility here now. It is the understanding that we have something that is not the norm, or wasn't the norm in the old paradigm, right? We are seeing each other's souls. We are remembering ourselves and each other throughout other lifetimes. We communicate telepathically. We feel each other. We know each other. It runs so deep. This is a very different ball game. And it's something that we all have to get used to. It's something that we all have to feel our way into. I've not been in a divine union in this lifetime. I've been, of course, in divine unions in other lifetimes, but not in this lifetime, right? I am readying myself for my divine union, for my counterpart. And so just the way I'm readying myself, maybe you already are in that union, or maybe you're readying yourself, but it's a very different level of connection. And when we're looking at reciprocal energy happens very differently here than on the functioning level, right? Remember, down here, everybody's got their responsibilities. It's shared 50-50. Everybody's hustling. Everybody's working, right? Everybody's exhausted at the end of the day. But whereas up here, it's not 50-50. Divine union means that, of course, let me correct myself. 50-50 is different up here than on the regular modern relationship level dynamic. Stay in the breath. It always takes two to tango. It always requires for both, right, to be the yin and yang. It requires for both to hold each other and the relationship in that divine container. But the roles and the dynamics of the reciprocation are not the doing any longer. On these much higher, more elevated and ascended levels, it's about you, the divine feminine, are being. You are in your being so much more. You are in your divine embodiment so much more. You are in your high frequency so much more. He is too, or whoever holds the masculine energy. But the roles are much more ethereal, right? Remember, we're talking much higher vibrational dynamic. So both hold each other and this gift sacred. Knowing each other, feeling each other, hearing each other, sensing each other, right? Like I've said, telepathic communication, you just know where they're at. And so when you visualize yourself in this way, go ahead and be the cup that's overflowing, because the more that you are giving to yourself as the divine feminine and being the cup that's overflowing, just by you giving to yourself, just by you tending to your cup that's overflowing, you are actually giving to the masculine, the divine masculine. By you being in that overflowing cup, you are the foundation for heaven on earth. You are the divine consciousness embodied. And so you are walking in this energy. You are imprinting this consciousness level into the home. So it's not about you needing to do and to give, because that's masculine energy. You want to get used to yourself and see yourself and visualize and work with yourself in this elevated way where you're receiving. You're receiving from yourself first and foremost. Goddess never operates from lack or need. As soon as you're lacking or needing, I've got to turn these features off. I don't know how to do it, but the balloons were just coming up for the audio listeners. So as soon as you're doing for and giving to, you're in the masculine energy. That's not your role any longer. See, remember this. Let me bring out the good old scale here. So I'm having that for the audio listeners. I'm holding up a graph that is 50% feminine in red and 50% masculine in blue. And so when we're looking at the balance within self, the body is already the physical and the soul is the spiritual. The body is already the masculine and the soul self, the light self, is already the feminine. This is in regard to the relationship dynamic. So considering that you are a divine feminine and you're holding a high frequency, you're very, 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 very high in your feminine energy. When you're very high in your feminine energy, you are tending to yourself. You are giving to yourself. You are the cup that's overflowing. You are the vibrational tone, the leading vibrational frequency. You are the wisdom. You're the guidance for yourself and the relationship. The masculine, if you are high in your feminine energy, remember the masculine is also going to be very high in his masculine energy. Now, a healthy divine masculine just gives, wants to give. That's what is fulfilling to him. That is what is fueling him. That is what is charging him up. The masculine energy that is very strong and deeply in his masculine, he doesn't ask to receive. That's feminine energy. But because you are the fountain of light, because you are that cup that's overflowing, he is receiving from you naturally. So you understand that the reciprocal doesn't happen any longer in you doing or giving. The reciprocal energy happens in him giving to you. He is the masculine energy, and he gives to you, and he provides, and he protects, and he thinks about you. He thinks about how to surprise you. He thinks about what he could give to you or what he could plan for you, right? That's his thinking. That's the masculine energy. You in the feminine, you don't think about him. You feel, right? Remember, feminine energy is the feeling energy, receiving energy. You're receiving what he gives to you. You're receiving his love. You're receiving his protection. You're receiving his providing, right? You're receiving it. And so therefore, you're the cup that's overflowing. And by you being the cup that's overflowing, you're giving. That's you giving. That's you giving him clarity, peace, wisdom, guidance. That is you giving him love, grounding. This is you giving him inspiration. Like imagine yourself and breathe as the cup that's overflowing, and this is light, right? What is overflowing? It's light. You bringing in your light, and you're tending to yourself, and you're making sure you're feeling whole, and you're listening to your body, and you're listening to your energy levels, and you're listening to your intuition. And just by doing that, this is what you're imprinting into the home. This is what he walks into, and this is what he rests within. This is what he recharges within. And of course, you love on him. And of course, you tell him what an amazing provider he is and what a magnificent man he is. Of course, all of that, yes. But get that feeling, get that sense, get that vision, get that remembrance. Keep breathing that you don't need to be doing and giving any longer in those ways. You follow your own guidance. You follow your own inspiration. Visualize yourself as the goddess that you are in your temple. You're doing what your light is telling you to do. You're of service to the divine. When you're in your divine feminine embodiment, you serve the divine. And so you do what inspiration, what intuition, what guidance is telling you to do, whether it's your mission, whether it's your children, whether it's community work, whatever it is, right? You do what you're meant to be doing. And by doing what you're meant to be doing, you are staying in your feminine, you're staying in your light, you're staying in the overflow. When you're feeling like you need to rest, you rest. When you feel like you need to stretch, you stretch. When you feel like you need to bathe, you bathe. When you feel like you want to take care of some emails or reach out or focus on your creative projects or focus on work, you do that, yes. But because you're flowing with the guidance, you're always staying full. And so in this way, you are giving. And there are so many voices out there right now that are saying, you know, the best thing to do is like do nothing. You as a divine feminine, do nothing. The less you do for a man, the better. And from that vibrational concept, it is the truth. It is the truth. And of course, you feel like you want to make him his favorite meal, you do that. You feel like, you know, you want to surprise him with something, you do that. but this is your inspiration, right? So think of it in new ways. It's a new way of thinking. It's a new way of being that isn't new, but it's new to us. It's new to us as overgivers. I used to be the biggest overgiver. I'm a natural nurturer. I'm a natural giver. I'm a natural healer. So yeah, I basically, I wouldn't say it was all my fault for overgiving, but yeah, definitely I affected the dynamics of my past relationships in unhealthy ways because I was just giving way too much, doing way too much. And so all of us now need to really visualize, because that's how you integrate, that's how you receive on the feminine DNA level the shift that you want to transition into. You're receiving, he's giving. But by you receiving and by you being authentic with yourself, you are giving to him too. So even though it's invisible, even though it's vibrational, and even though it's not something that can be proven on paper, doesn't mean you're not giving. And this is very important. And this will all make sense to deeper and deeper levels. And a divine masculine knows this. A divine masculine feels this truth because he feels what you are providing for him vibrationally. He knows that you are the divine guidance. He knows that you are the moral compass for the relationship, right? And a divine masculine is that way because of you. A divine masculine, remember, gets activated by you. You're his activation. And the more that you tend to yourself and the more that you give you to yourself, the more you're activating him. So he also knows, a divine masculine knows that his ascension in essence is because of you choosing yourself, is because of you filling your own cup always first. He knows that his frequency, his joy, his peace, his clarity, his divine masculine status depends on you. Let's say, for example, not that this is what will happen, but let's say for some reason, for whatever reason, let's say the two aren't together. He will not be able to provide or generate that experience of that peace, of that light, of that divinity, of that heaven of earth, of that joy. He will not be able to provide that for himself. So just because the reciprocation shifts, because we're talking higher frequency, we're talking vibrational awareness now, right? Just because it shifts does not mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it's not happening, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. A divine masculine knows the truth. And you as the divine feminine, you know the truth. And that's all that matters. You don't have to defend or explain yourself to other people. All you have to do is trust yourself. All you have to do is stay in the filling of your own cup. All you have to do is stay in your guidance, in your intuition, and follow that. Follow that. And everything is going to manifest in divine timing to the highest outcome. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And one more thing. See, by you filling your own cup and by you holding this vibration, you will activate his, how do I say it, money-making powers, right? Because by you being that vibrational foundation, you activate his ability for expansion. You activate his ability for growth. You activate his ability for, making money, doing business, connecting with the right people, connecting with light people versus low vibing people, right? So again, the more that a man does for you and gives for you, the richer he will become. And we've seen this concept in the basic relationships, right? Studies have been showing that a man who's married does way better in business, does way better in life than a man who's single. But again, this is still the old traditional setup, right? Where the trad wife concept, where she is chained to being the housekeeper and the chef and the children's caretaker and the organizer and manager of the home, right? So she's being kept in her masculine energy, which of course, that's not divine feminine. Right? Divine feminine goddess is not minimized to a homemaker. She is the expansion. You are the expansion. You are the inspiration, the empowerment, the joy, the strength, the vision, the clarity, the heaven on earth. It is who you are as being in your divine feminine. So don't let your brain, don't let your ego tell you that you have to bring anything to the table. Remember, there is no table. Remember, you are the table. Good. Good. So let this sink in. Keep breathing. Let it all resonate, and let yourself simmer in it. And don't expect yourself to know immediately everything and how to do it. And please ask questions. Let me know how this resonates for you. Let me know what you want me to dive into more deeply. Let me know where you're at on this journey of filling your own cup and being the cup that's overflowing, okay? So let me know in the comments, because it's very important for me to know how I can serve you better and how we can connect to the highest levels. Good. Okay, my gorgeous sister, as always, I am so grateful for your light, for your time, your energy, your presence on this channel. And as always, I am sending love and light blessings to you and yours. Hugs and kisses. Ciao for now.